General Hospital spoilers for Thursday, April 24, reveal that injured Cody Bell will land at GH, while Sonny Corinthos faces some surgery prep in Los Angeles. Jason Morgan will also step up for Danny Morgan, so here's what viewers can expect. First, it looks like Cody will suffer a minor injury and end up waiting to see a doctor at the hospital. That'll give Cody a chance to talk to Brooklyn Quartermain, who'll express confusion when he assumes she might be annoyed with him. Since Cody inadvertently confirmed Brooklyn and Dante Falconeri's past romance to Lulu Spencer when she was digging around, that might be why he suspects she's miffed. However, Brooklyn may reassure Cody before she ultimately gets some troubling updates. It seems Brooklyn will hear about the adoption story that Lulu's writing for the Landview banner, so she's sure to flip out. The last thing Brooklyn needs is for Lulu to write anything that might raise Dante's suspicions about the baby she gave up for adoption all those years ago. This story could leave Brooklyn making some panicked predictions. Nevertheless, Lucas Jones could mention the interview he's about to do for Lulu's story about adoption and set off some alarm bells for Brooklyn. At some point, Lucas will pay Lulu a visit and open up about his personal adoption experience, but he'll admit he's glad his biological father came back into his life. Julian Jerome has been on Lucas' mind lately due to his recent discovery about Jen Sidwell being Marco Rios' father. Speaking of Marco, he'll sit down for a meeting with Alexis Davis and Diane Miller at the law office. It appears Diane and Alexis will move forward with hiring Marco despite their reservations about his connection to Sidwell. That said, Alexis will insist on getting one thing clear and may warn that Marco will be out the door immediately if he ends up tied to any illegal Sidwell scandals. Back at the hospital, Molly Lansing may spot Cody during his medical ordeal and express some well wishes. Molly will also warn Rick Lansing that he's playing with fire by getting closer to Ava Jerome. Rick will wonder if Molly's saying that if Ava is in his life, then his daughter won't be. It'll leave Rick worried this is an ultimatum, so we'll see if Molly goes to that extreme or not. As for Danny, he'll confide in Jason about the loss of Sam McCall and the hole that's been left in his heart. Jason will comfort his son and promise that he's there for whatever Danny needs. While Dante and Christina Corinthos Davis discuss how their dad needs his family more than ever, Sonny will get ready for his heart procedure in Lay. Brick will find out Carly Spencer will be on hand to support Sonny through it all, so he'll suggest that's the best news he's heard. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers preview for Thursday, April 24, reveals that Carly Spencer will have some news for Brick while Sam McCall memories haunt. Molly Lansing Davis will also warn Rick Lansing, so there'll be some exciting stuff happening on the ABC soap. For starters, Carly's presence in Los Angeles will leave Brick feeling good about Sonny Corinthos' hospital stay. Once Brick gets updates on Carly having Sonny's back, he'll sing her praises and hope that Sonny's surgery goes smoothly. Unfortunately, Sonny's time in the OR won't be the only threat he faces. Before the week's over, it looks like Colette Moreau will sneak in Sonny's room, dressed as a nurse for another elimination plot. Back in Port Charles, Christina Corinthos Davis and Dante Falconeri will have a conversation about supporting Sonny as they wait for word on his procedure. The GH preview video shows that Danny Morgan will struggle with memories of Sam and talk to Jason about how much he misses his mom. Jason Morgan will give Danny some sympathy and promise that he can always count on his dad. At the law office, Marco Rios will learn his fate. It looks like Diane Miller and Alexis Davis will hire Marco despite his father-son link to Jen Sidwell, but they'll have some stipulations. Sidwell basically assured Alexis that Marco was squeaky clean and not involved in any illegal activities. Alexis and Diane may warn that Marco had better keep it that way if he wants to stay employed at their law firm. At GH, Molly will warn Rick about the dangers of being connected to someone like Ava Jerome. Rick's deepening romance with Ava will definitely raise red flags for Molly and could leave her tempted to hand down an ultimatum. "If Ava's in my life, then you're not gonna be," Rick asks Molly in Thursday's preview video. Molly may stop short of saying she'll cut Rick out of the picture if he's tangled up with Ava. After almost losing Rick in that car crash, that'd be a pretty harsh line to draw. That said, Molly will make some troubling Ava predictions and suggest that Rick would be wise to cut her loose. Of course, Molly won't realize Rick's part of Ava's blackmail scheme, so she won't know the worst of it. Next, Cody Bell will need some medical care, so it seems he may hurt himself doing some work in the stables. Brooklyn Quartermain will apparently make sure Cody sees a doctor, but he'll fear she might be irritated with him. This might go back to Lulu Spencer tricking Cody into discussing Dante and Brooklyn's camp fling. Whatever the case, Cody will be at GH around the same time as Molly, so she may worry once she realizes he's injured. As for Brooklyn, she'll freak out when she learns Lulu is reviving her journalism career with a story about adoption. Lucas Jones might let something slip about an interview with Lulu and help Brooklyn discover Lulu's latest project. Lulu will indeed interview Lucas about being an adopted child, though he'll ultimately open up about his bio dad as well. Lucas and Julian Jerome didn't have the greatest relationship, but Lucas will still appreciate the fact that he got to know him. Back with Brooklyn, she'll be on a mission to confront Lulu over this adoption story and try to shut it down. Brooklyn won't want Lulu writing anything about adoption since it connects to the secret they're keeping from Dant. Carly and Jason clash. Tracy makes an offer. Laura defends herself, and Drew's reaction surprises Willow. Tracy says, "I don't want to talk about the Esplanade." Nobody gives a damn about the Esplanade. In fact, if I never hear about the Esplanade again, it'll be too soon. He laughs and says that's what the referendum is about. She scoffs. She knows it has nothing to do with a sidewalk, but getting rid of a dangerous element, Sonny Corinthos. He agrees and asks if she's willing to put her money where her mouth is. She writes out a check and he's grateful. He tells her she'll be going up against people like their illustrious mayor as Laura appears. She's shocked he's making amends. He tells her they've internal polling about the referendum and thinks Sonny's days on the piers are numbered. Laura looks forward to reading about it in email. He thinks she should jump on board with their position, which makes Laura laugh. Tracy tells him to go put his money to good use, and Laura sits. "You gave him money? You know you can't trust that guy." Tracy doesn't and laughs, calling him loathsome. She does think Laura needs to listen to him, though. She says Sonny's been a blight on their family for years. She brings up AJ's death and calls it murder. Laura can see her point. If not, Kai could be paralyzed. Unfortunately, Kai is caught up in Drew's act. He'll weasel himself out of anything, and if Kai blames him, he'll do the same. Nina thinks they need to set a trap. Nina approaches the bar and introduces herself to Jacinda and asks if she models. Jacinda's a freelancer. She hands over her card and says to call her while Ezra asks for the bill. Nina returns to the table and tells Portia that the woman's not a model. She's a sex worker. Just then, Ezra takes Jacinda up to his room. The women grin. We have a job for her. They see Ezra and think they can use him. They wonder who the beauty is with that troll. Nina has seen her several times and grins. Jason finds Carly chopping vegetables at home. She waves a knife in front of him, telling him she found a way to get Michael's kids away from that tramp for good. He raises his hands and asks her to stop waving the knife. Carly says there was no follow-through with divorce papers since Michael has been in the hospital, so she told Diane to prep for the custody battle. Jason huffs out a sigh. Carly says once Michael's back, they'll get right to it. Jason doesn't like this. They don't even know what Michael wants. They argue, and she learns Willow's off to see Michael. She blows up and disagrees. Michael's still in love with Willow. This is worse. Carly thinks since he won't see through her tears. At home, Drew tells Willow that if something happens to her, his lawyers will ensure the kids go to him. She's surprised and asks him to stop them. She won't leverage Michael's medical proxy. She's heard he's doing better, but Drew wonders if she's lying. What if something happens to her? Willow doesn't want to discuss it now. He wants to protect the kids from Carly, but Willow needs to face Michael first. This surprises Drew. He calls it bold, but she's being strategic. Say thinks they can have a productive conversation about the kids. Drew's not so sure. He calls what Michael did petty and cruel. Willow tells him it's not the Michael she knows. Drew talks down about who he sees Drew as. He keeps spinning everything good that Willow says about Michael and learns Jason told her to go to Baden-Baden. He tells her he's okay with her going. Whatever brings their family peace. He thinks he's going with her, but she says it sounds amazing, but she's going alone. General Hospital spoilers reveal that G.H. alum Scott Clifton recently addressed the fan buzz about his possible return as Dylan Quartermain. Will another two ultimately follow the Michael Corinthos recast back to Port Charles? Could Clifton possibly be the Michael recast if Chad Duell doesn't return? Scott Clifton played Dylan from 2003 to 2007. So viewers have always wondered if he might make a GH homecoming at some point. Robert Palmer Watkins was the last actor to portray Dylan Quartermain, but there are good reasons why people are speculating about Clifton reprising the role instead. Although Clifton has played Liam Spencer on The Bold and the Beautiful since 2010, many fans are growing concerned about Liam's fatal exit. Liam has an inoperable brain tumor, so B&B is certainly leaning into the drama and making it look like he's going to pass away. If Liam doesn't make it, that could free Scott Clifton up for another soap role. It's easy to imagine GH wanting to snatch Clifton up and have him play Dylan Quartermain once again, or even serve as Michael's recast. That said, it's a little too early to make firm predictions on whether Clifton might reprise the role of Dylan. In a new interview with Sod, Clifton acknowledged that he doesn't know for sure how things are going to play out with his Bold and the Beautiful character. As a result, GH isn't on Clifton's radar at the moment, since he's just focused on giving his current B&B storyline everything he's got. I am not at all thinking about General Hospital or any other show. I'm just thinking about doing the best job I can do telling this story. That is what is important to me, Clifton insisted. Of course, Clifton could definitely start thinking about his future employment if it turns out Liam doesn't survive. That could lead to some talks with the GH powers that be and open the door to Clifton's potential return as Dylan. Since it looks like a Michael Corinthos recast is in the works, perhaps Dylan's comeback could follow and really beef up the Quartermain presence on canvas. General Hospital spoilers reveal that after her most recent round of passion, we have to ask, did Willow Corinthos just get pregnant? Willow's latest Drew Kane love scene could lead to baby drama, so let's discuss the potential for a major twist in this storyline. GA's writers are clearly setting Drew up for serious downfall since he's become such an awful manipulator. There's nothing likable about Drew anymore, so we have to believe his luck will run out eventually. Drew needs to pay for the terrible person he's become and all the scheming he's done. With that in mind, there's a good chance the show will blow up Drew's relationship with Willow sooner rather than later. Nana Reeves plans to lure Drew into an escort trap, but she has a last resort strategy even if that doesn't work. If all else fails, Nina could ultimately tell Willow about her past hookups with Drew to launch their split. Regardless, there will surely be some way to open Willow's eyes to who Drew really is. Willow may wash her hands of Drew in the end, but what if she discovers she's got Drew's bun in the oven? Just when it looks like Willow might finally be rid of Drew, she may find out she's pregnant with his child. Drew and Willow's love scene in the April 23 episode felt significant, like it might be more about baby making than the actual passion. Willow and Drew are a pretty unpopular duo, so not many people were clamoring to watch them hit the sheets. The real goal of showing that scene may have been to set up a surprise pregnancy in the not-too-distant future. Will Willow end up expecting Drew's kid thanks to that passionate encounter? Could Willow decide she's ready to dump Drew and then discover she's got a permanent tie to him? Drew and Willow have been making some predictions about their path forward together, but their plans could get derailed in more ways than one. Willow and Drew could be headed for a relationship blow-up along with some baby news, so stay tuned for updates on all the chaos. General Hospital fans have watched the ups and downs of Willow and Drew's relationship over the past months. Recently, however, thanks to a legal arrangement between the two, some fans suspect that somebody is planning something big. However, Willow just might be on the verge of sharing something that could change everything. Recent events have seen Willow sign papers that have made Drew a legal guardian of her children. This serves as a precaution should something happen to her. Thanks to this, fans are started to worry that something or someone could soon be coming after Willow. After all, this would make the papers an important plot point. In fact, fans suspect that not everything is what it seems in Port Charles. It's been theorized that Drew is not really Drew, but Henry Hank Archer, also known as the Dawn of Day cult leader, Shiloh. As the theory goes, Shiloh had plastic surgery to change his appearance after faking his death, and may have even genuinely believed he was Drew early on. Shiloh had a child with Willow in the past, but the baby didn't survive long past their birth. Due to this, Shiloh could have originally schemed to pose as Drew to have another chance at having a child with Willow, though he may also have more sinister purposes. It helps that a lot of focus has been placed on Drew not acting like himself over the past few months, something that has not gone unnoticed by other characters. Another thing that hasn't been lost on fans is that the Tay Kane house, which was purchased by Drew, greatly resembles the house used by the Dawn of Day cult. This could just simply be a reused set, but this still could be hinting at things to come. Willow may initially ignore these signs, but she might soon grow suspicious. Drew may even be planning to take Willow's children as some form of revenge. Willow may soon realize that her own life is in danger. Willow could then come up with a last-second attempt to save herself, announce that she is pregnant with Drew's child. Whether or not Drew has unmasked himself, he would then give Willow a few months to live. Willow would then have to come up with a plan to expose the truth and save herself. Meanwhile, Willow planning a trip to Germany to see Michael had been teased for a while. She had discussed the issue with Jason, discussing the importance of having a direct discussion. A preview for the April 23 episode also has Jason outright tell Carly Willow is going to Germany to see Michael. However, before that happens, Willow can be seen talking with Drew, sharing, "There's still one person I need to face." Before that takes place, a bigger confrontation between Willow and Drew could soon be underway. General Hospital spoilers imply it's been a hot minute since Spencer Cassadine has been seen in Port Charles. The character's portrayer, Nicholas Alexander Chavez, exited the soap in early 2024 and has been a busy bee since, diving into multiple projects. Now it looks like Chavez is at it again, slated to participate in a prestigious theater project this summer, and CTS has all the details. Chavez will play Kilroy at the Williamstown Theater Festival this summer in Massachusetts' Berkshire Mountains. He's set to star opposite Pamela Anderson, who's playing Marguerite, as they dive into a revival of Camino Real. Written by playwright Tennessee Williams, the production will be directed by Dustin Wills, and Whitney Peake, star of Hocus Pocus 2, rounds out the cast, playing Esmeralda. In addition, there are some daytime drama connections to the play as One Life to Live and fellow General Hospital alum Florencia Lozano, as well as All My Children's alum Socorro Santiago, are also performers in the show. Camino Real centers on Kilroy, a former boxer, as he makes his way through an odd town and confronts some life choices he's made. Held every year in Williamstown, MA, the 71st season of the Williamstown Theatre Festival will run from July 17 to August 3 this summer. Chavez's Camino Reel will take place on the main stage theater during all 3 weekends of the event. Chavez had an incredible 2024 with breakout primetime roles in Netflix's Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, as well as FX's Grotesquerie. He's also scheduled to participate in the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel, set to debut on July 18, 2025, which is ironically the opening weekend of the festival and Camino Reel. For more information on the 2025 Williamstown Theatre Festival, fans can visit the festival.org. Do you miss Nicholas Chavez on GH? Join the conversation in the comments section. General Hospital fans are in for a treat as Daniel Goddard turns up the heat. The show recently featured a mysterious briefcase that sparked fan theories, drama, and now an interactive contest. This clever twist comes straight from Goddard himself, who plays Professor Henry Dalton. During the April 18 episode, Professor Dalton was spotted heading into a restricted lab. Following closely behind was Jocelyn Jacks, who noticed Dalton carrying a briefcase that looked far too important to ignore. The moment felt secretive and intense, raising suspicions about what Dalton might be hiding. This wasn't just a dramatic scene, it became a major plot point and a social media moment. As questions flooded in about the briefcase, Daniel Goddard decided to take the mystery off-screen. Goddard sparked excitement with a social media post featuring a clip of the suspicious briefcase. He challenged fans to guess its contents, promising something more than just bragging rights. One lucky winner would receive a personal phone call from the actor himself. In his caption, Goddard referenced a classic movie mystery. Pulp Fiction had a briefcase, and so does Professor Dalton, he wrote, inviting creative answers. Have as much fun as you want. The comment section lit up instantly. Fans tossed out hilarious, bizarre, and dramatic ideas. Guesses ranged from a secret identity to dangerous biohazards. One fan imagined Dalton hiding a Superman costume. Another joked it was a deadly virus. Adding to the buzz, Jason Thompson, formerly Patrick Drake on General Hospital, chimed in. He joked that Patrick's old scrubs were tucked inside. This nod to GA history had longtime viewers in stitches. The challenge brought new energy to both Goddard's character and the show's overall intrigue. While fans speculate, Jocelyn's mission is growing more intense. Vaughn encouraged her to earn the role of Dalton's research assistant. She's determined to get closer to the truth. Gaining access could help her uncover what's really going on behind closed lab doors. But the closer she gets, the greater the risk. Jocelyn suspects Dalton is hiding something dangerous. Her instincts might soon be proven right as the mystery deepens. Though the briefcase's contents remain unknown, spoilers promise more revelations. Dalton's story is far from over. Daniel Goddard's arrival has added tension and suspense. His character brings secrets that could rock Port Charles. As Jocelyn digs further, viewers can expect shockers. The truth may be darker than anyone imagined. The General Hospital briefcase mystery has jumped from the screen into real-life fan fun. Daniel Goddard's contest turned suspense into a community game, and fans are loving it. With more secrets ahead, General Hospital is keeping everyone guessing. Stay tuned for more from Soap Opera Daily. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, April 23, reveal chaos brewing across Port Charles as loyalties are tested and secret agendas come to light. Carly explodes over Jason's decision, while Willow prepares for a life-changing reunion in Germany. Meanwhile, Tracy plots a risky alliance, and Laura fears a dangerous power shift. With every move carrying consequences, Wednesday's episode promises emotional fireworks and dramatic turns no one saw coming. Laura Collins isn't taking Sonny Corinthos' absence lightly. She realizes that pushing Sonny out doesn't solve the problem. It creates a power vacuum. That vacuum could be filled by someone far more dangerous. On Wednesday, Laura sounds the alarm, hoping to prevent a bigger crisis before it begins. In a tense conversation, she tries to make Ezra Boyle understand the stakes. If Sonny loses his grip on Port Charles, a more ruthless player might seize control. Her warning isn't just about crime. It's about keeping the city from collapsing into total chaos. While Laura pushes for peace, Tracy Quartermaine is thinking strategy. She meets with Ezra to discuss something much more calculated. Their conversation isn't casual. Tracy has a pitch. This pitch is loaded with implications. Ezra's curiosity is piqued, especially when Tracy hints that she's willing to back her words with money. He questions whether she's truly ready to invest, but Tracy's confidence doesn't waver. This potential deal could send shockwaves across business and family lines in Port Charles. And if Ezra accepts, it might just kick off a dangerous new alliance. Elsewhere, Portia Robinson turns her attention to Nina Reeves and the power she holds. Portia believes Nina could sabotage Drew and Willow's relationship if she chose to reveal her own past. The revelation of old hookups with Drew might be enough to split the couple apart, but the risk is high. Telling Willow the truth could damage Nina's already fragile connection with her. As Portia weighs the cost of pushing Nina toward honesty, it becomes clear that any move Nina makes could change her life forever. Meanwhile, Jason Morgan delivers a piece of news that instantly ignites Carly Spencer's fury. He tells her that Willow is traveling to Germany to visit Michael. Rather than supporting Jason's plan to help Willow and Michael reconnect, Carly lashes out. She believes this trip could backfire and has other plans in mind. Behind closed doors, Carly is preparing a legal ambush. She's working with Diane Millard to fast-track a custody hearing, one that could blindside Drew, Nina, and even Willow. Carly's ready to play hardball, and she's not pulling punches. As Willow packs for Germany, she opens her heart to Drew Kane. She talks about needing closure with Michael, but Drew's reaction throws her off. Instead of support, Willow might see a glimpse of who Drew becomes under pressure: cold, calculating, and possibly controlling. It's a side of Drew she's never truly seen, and as she questions his motives, the trust between them could begin to crack. Despite the tension, Willow continues with her plans. But will Drew or Carly derail her journey before it even begins? Amid all the chaos, family takes center stage again. Lulu and Dante come together for a difficult conversation about Rocco. The young boy is caught in the emotional fallout of his fractured family. He's feeling the weight of adult drama that no child should bear. Lulu and Dante know something has to change. They're determined to shield Rocco from further pain and confusion. As they navigate their own history, they search for common ground for their son's sake. General Hospital fans, brace yourselves. The latest development on the ABC soap hints at history repeating itself dramatically, with Daniel Goddard stepping into General Hospital as Professor Henry Dalton. Speculation is swirling. Is the show diving back into its infamous cloning and memory mapping storyline? The moment Goddard shared a photo of himself as Professor Dalton, fans perked up. But it wasn't just the picture. What truly sparked interest was his shout-out to Sir John Gurdon. That name isn't random. Gurdon is the Nobel Prize-winning scientist known for his work in cloning and nuclear transplantation. Now ask yourself, why would General Hospital writers tie Dalton's backstory to the real-world godfather of cloning? This feels calculated. This feels familiar. Goddard posted a short clip featuring Gurdon, along with questions for his followers. He asked who their mentor was. That might seem innocent, but it raised red flags. The choice of mentor for Dalton wasn't accidental. With Gurdon's work being all about cloning, General Hospital might be dropping breadcrumbs for something bigger. Could Professor Dalton be involved in a new cloning scheme? Or worse, could he be a clone himself? The recent strange behavior from Drew Kane hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans are already whispering that he may not be who he claims to be. What if the real Drew is gone, and what we're seeing is a clone? And let's not forget Victor Cassadine. The man supposedly met his end in Greenland. But what if it wasn't the real Victor at all? What if it was a clone? This twist could explain a lot and even make room for Victor's return. If cloning is back on the table, then General Hospital might be setting the stage for epic returns. Characters believed to be dead could resurface, all thanks to some experimental science. But the big question is, are these clones friend or foe? Professor Dalton might be more than just a mentor fanboy. He could be a mastermind behind the curtain. With the show's rich history in twisted science plots, this storyline could spiral into something wild and thrilling. Jocelyn Jax is already on a dangerous mission with the WSB. Could she uncover the cloning conspiracy first? Her journey might lead her to truths that shake Port Charles to its core. If Joss stumbles on this operation, she may be forced to choose between exposing the truth or protecting someone she loves. The signs are clear. General Hospital could be revisiting one of its most outrageous and exciting arcs, cloning. With Daniel Goddard's mysterious character tied to a cloning expert and strange behavior from others, the pieces are falling into place. Whether it's Drew, Victor, or someone else entirely, history seems ready to repeat itself in shocking fashion. A new face has arrived in Port Charles. In today's General Hospital comings and goings update, fans finally met Jacinda. Played by Paige Herschel, she made her debut in the April 23 episode, stepping into a mysterious new role. Herschel is no stranger to the screen. She's appeared in Billions, FBI, Law and Order, SVU, The Orville, and Lioness. Now, she's making waves in the soap world with General Hospital. She's set to appear in a short-term role, but fans are already buzzing. Trained at Shenandoah Conservatory with a BFA in acting, Herschel also studied at Yale's School of Drama. She further honed her craft at UCLA and Goldsmiths, University of London. That's a strong resume for a newcomer. So far, Jacinda seems mysterious but ambitious. She's introduced as someone Nina and Portia trust for a critical assignment. That alone hints at high drama ahead. As Soap Opera Digest teased, she'll interact heavily with two powerful women in town. Could secrets be exposed or relationships tested? Even though this is a short-term role, Jacinda could shake things up fast. With ties to Nina and Portia, it's clear she's entering important territory. Fans should expect her to stir tension and possibly even spark a twist. Could Paige Herschel's Jacinda become a bigger part of General Hospital long-term? That depends on fan reaction and how her arc unfolds. This isn't the first time General Hospital comings and goings introduced a short-term character who left a lasting mark. Paige Herschel has the training and charisma to do just that. Don't miss what Jacinda stirs up next. That wraps up the latest General Hospital comings and goings. For more updates, character reveals, and soap drama, stay tuned to Soap Opera Daily. As General Hospital gears up for a high-stakes surgical procedure, the focus shifts to Kai, a determined young man preparing for a life-altering operation following a debilitating football injury. What began as a complex medical endeavor soon unveils a series of personal revelations with the potential to redefine relationships across Port Charles. The hospital's top surgeons and cutting-edge technology converge to give Kai a fighting chance at physical recovery. However, routine preoperative genetic screenings trigger unexpected alarm. Initially dismissed as a blood profile anomaly, follow-up tests suggest a startling possibility. Kai may be the biological son of veteran officer Marcus Taggart, a man long revered in Trina's life as a paternal figure. This confidential finding quickly spreads, reaching Trina and shattering her perception of family. The emotional impact is profound. Not only does she confront the idea that her father may have harbored a lifelong secret, but she also faces the possibility that her closest friend, Kai, is her half-brother. For Trina, the revelation is destabilizing. Her once stable understanding of her relationships collapses into uncertainty. Simultaneously, Kai is forced to process the notion that he may have a father within his own community, someone he never knew was connected to him by blood. The implications strain his bond with Trina, altering every shared moment between them. Questions abound. Did Taggart know? Why was this hidden? And can Kai embrace a father who, until now, was just another adult in his orbit? Complicating matters further is Drew, whose involvement in Kay's treatment begins to raise red flags. While positioned as a well-meaning ally, Drew's behavior grows increasingly controlling. He circumvents standard procedures, overrides Kay's autonomy, and implements aggressive treatment plans without consent, prompting concerns from Trina, Taggart, and Dr. Portia Robinson. As Kay's case becomes a focal point for experimental rehabilitation methods, Drew's true intentions come under scrutiny. Is he prioritizing recovery or leveraging Kai as a symbol for institutional ambition? Amid the escalating tension, Kai undergoes a personal transformation. No longer passive, he asserts his right to make decisions about his body and future. He confronts the truth about his identity, seeks reconciliation with Trina, and rejects being reduced to a case study. This decisive shift places Kai at odds with Drew, who retaliates by manipulating records, spreading disinformation, and attempting to sideline Portia, raising concerns about systemic abuse of power within General Hospital. In the face of growing adversity, Kai, Trina, and Taggart form a cohesive unit. More than just a biological connection, their alliance is built on shared values and mutual protection. Taggart, once skeptical, now supports the emotional bond between Kai and Trina, recognizing that authentic connection can only flourish in an environment of honesty and trust. Portia, meanwhile, becomes a target of professional sabotage, as Drew attempts to preserve his influence. Kai's refusal to serve as a promotional figure for unapproved treatments marks a pivotal moment, shifting the narrative from compliance to resistance. What began as a storyline centered around surgery and identity evolves into a broader examination of ethical boundaries, institutional control, and personal agency. Kai emerges not just as a patient, but as an advocate, fighting for his right to exist as more than a project, a diagnosis, or a name in someone else's narrative. In standing up to Drew, supporting Portia, and reconciling with Trina, Kai reclaims his story. His choices set the tone for a new chapter, one driven not by secrets or external agendas, but by courage, clarity, and conviction. In a dramatic cascade of events, General Hospital takes a dark turn as Lulu uncovers long-buried secrets that threaten to destabilize the lives of everyone connected to the Falconeri and Quartermain families. A quiet investigation into Gio's origins quickly evolves into a high-stakes confrontation with far-reaching consequences. Lulu's discovery began innocently enough with a hospital record buried in an old California facility's archives. The document, anonymously labeled, revealed a newborn with Dante Falconeri's exact blood type and rare genetic markers associated with the Falconeri lineage. Lulu, who had acquired intimate knowledge of Dante during their marriage, recognized the implications immediately. The revelation was further corroborated by genetic test results and rare traits. During a visit to Loisa's apartment, Lulu uncovered a collection of photos documenting Brooke Lynn's hidden pregnancy. Alongside them was a letter from Sonny vowing to support the unborn child, financially and emotionally, while maintaining secrecy. The timeline aligned perfectly with Brooke Lynn's abrupt departure from Port Charles years earlier, supposedly for academic reasons. Lulu quickly linked the pieces. Gio wasn't merely a musically gifted protégé. He was Dante's biological son, hidden from him for 2 decades. Lulu's investigation escalated into a full-blown offensive as she confronted Lois at a private family gathering. Armed with irrefutable evidence, medical records, photographs, and Sonny's letter, Lulu pressed Lois for the truth. The confrontation triggered a severe emotional reaction in Lois, exposing the psychological toll of maintaining a secret for 20 years. Lois, cornered and destabilized, pleaded for time to discuss the matter with Brooklyn and Sonny. Lulu agreed to a 24-hour window, warning that failure to act would force her to reveal the truth to both Dante and Gio herself. What began as a search for truth evolved into a psychological campaign. Lulu began monitoring Lois's movements, intercepting calls, and documenting clandestine meetings. She manipulated social interactions to place Gio and Dante together, subtly observing and collecting behavioral evidence to support the biological connection. At the same time, Lulu initiated a charm offensive toward Gio, engineering casual meetings and inserting references to Dante in conversation, all with the aim of building rapport while gathering more signs of resemblance. Unaware of the storm brewing around her, Brooklyn continued her professional duties until Lulu's probing tactics began to crack her composure. Subtle inquiries into Brooklyn's time in California and orchestrated public encounters involving Dante and Gio drove her to panic. She began rescheduling performances, avoiding events involving Dante, and even explored international tours to remove Gio from Port Charles. In private, Brooklyn searched for information on legal paternity and fatherhood rights, betraying the fear that the truth was closing in. As the situation escalated, Sonny began noticing the tension. Lulu's presence around Lois, Brooklyn's anxiety, and the growing similarities between Dante and Gio. His instincts told him something was wrong, but the implications involving his son, daughter, and a potential grandson left him conflicted and unsure of his next move. Meanwhile, Dante, oblivious to the full scope of the situation, began to experience a subconscious pull toward Gio. He found himself wanting to protect the young musician, and even began dreaming about a son he never knew existed, early signs of paternal instinct emerging without full understanding. Lulu's motives shifted from justice to obsession. Consulting Alexis Davis under the guise of a hypothetical legal inquiry, she prepared for potential custody proceedings. She redecorated her home in anticipation of a family reunion, complete with a new piano for Gio, a symbolic gift meant to mark a fresh start. Lulu's ultimate goal was no longer just to expose a secret. It was to reconstruct the family she lost after her divorce from Dante, using Gio as the keystone. The situation in Port Charles is rapidly spiraling. Lulu has crossed from investigator to strategist in a high-stakes familial conflict. Lois, once confident and composed, now verges on collapse. Brooklyn is panicking under the weight of her concealed past. Sonny is torn between loyalty and duty, while Dante begins to feel a connection he cannot yet explain. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.